Cari amici di Road Tv Italia, siamo con il dottor Liebowitz, un sociologo che insegna storia presso un famoso liceo qui di New York. Dr. Liebowitz, what is the American system, the electoral American system today?
Well, certainly complicated. It's based really on the Electoral College, but that's driven by the popular vote. And so we have an election today, presidential election. It's not the only election we have. We have elections of senators and members of the House of Representatives. And at the very local level, we have people who are being elected at the state assemblies. That just alderman positions, very local kinds of positions.
Okay. So basically, today the elector, how many people they're going to vote? They're going to vote the state of New York,
right,
the federal state, and president.
Right. So we have what's called a federal system, where there's a system of checks and balances built in, and we have this partnership between the local and the federal level. And local level, we have townships, cities, the state. So there's a partnership between the state and the federal government. So at the federal level, we have a presidential election, and the interrelationship between the state and the federal government is such that you hear the term electoral college, and so the way that works is that if President Obama wins the state of New York, which is
pretty close.
Well, no, very predictable that he'll win the Northeast, New York State, Massachusetts, those states. It's very predictable that he'll win in those areas, probably New Jersey as well. So given all that, he will be given electoral, each state is mandated to select electors, and those electors are pledged. They don't always have to do this, but they're pledged to vote the way the popular vote goes. So in other words, if New York State carries the day for President Obama, the electors will vote for President Obama. Okay. And the way it's determined how many electors from each state is really based on congressional representation. Okay, how many representatives sit in Washington that come from the state of New York? How many come from Rhode Island? How many come from Colorado? How many come from Ohio? Okay.
Yeah, in fact, Ohio seems one of the states that's more challenging for both the candidates. Why? Can you explain why? Because the Italians, they really don't understand this system. Because we have a proportional system. Right. You have a more a majority system,
right.
you know.
Right. That's
the
right.
people,
right.
the president.
Right. So you can have an election, you know, for instance, the Bush-Gore election of 2000, where Vice President Gore won the election, had the majority vote by a tune of in excess of 500,000 votes.
Yes.
If you look at that and you compare that to the Kennedy-Nixon election of 1960, Kennedy won with a plurality of 100,000. However, Kennedy carried the major states. In point of fact, most of the states where the Democrats tend to do best have more electoral college votes because they're more populous states. Okay. So if you look at the map and you look at what they call the red states, you'll see that there's states, Midwestern states, some of the Western states, where there's the huge big territory, but
few population is
very scant relative to the size of the state.
Another stuff that I found really interesting. I saw that some of to vote today, there will be even a vote for some judge.
Yes.
Yeah, that's because we in Italy we don't elect our judge.
Yeah.
You know, they are made by the the state.
Right.
So how works this system to election a judge here?
Well, you know, look, America, since its very inception, has been based on the idea of great part localism, in great part the whole notion of a town hall meeting. Okay. So if you look at America, even the colonial period, you look at Massachusetts, you look at the emphasis on having citizens involved very much at the local level, and that continues to manifest itself in American society today, to this day.
Another little curiosity for our friends from Italy. You know, in Italy you have a kind of election section. You went there, you sign, right, and you put the name that the people you want to be elected. How's it working here? You have a kind of pre-format section.
You have a ballot. You have a ballot in which the candidates' names. There are actually 4 people in the state of New York who are recognized as legitimate contenders for presidency. Okay. We talk about 2 of them, but there really are 4.
Because we didn't know that another 2.
So what happens then is that you then cast your vote for one of the 4 candidates. Okay.
Yeah, but you sign with an axe,
No, the way it's not so much that you sign. Well, at least, I mean, I'm now talking about changing this, but what you do is you press a button, and then you do this behind a booth. It's anonymous to the extent that when you walk into a booth, you're protected.
You go there.
Yeah, and that's right. And you're protected by a curtain, so that no one can see who you're voting for.
Okay, so it's basically you make a press, like a stamp, like a stamp.
And then when you're through indicating the people that you want to vote for, now some of this is changing.
Yeah.
You know, but classically, you then pull the lever, which then registers your vote.
Okay.
Electronically.
So when you think it's predictable, when it started to come out the first poll here?
Oh, I think people will be on top of this by 11, 12 o'clock. They'll get an indication of what. Look, the way the election is going, I mean, people pretty much know what certain states, you know, who's going to go for Romney, who's going to go for Obama. There are certain what they call battleground states. Right? Ohio is a battleground state. So if President Obama wins Ohio, given that he's going to win places like New York and New Jersey, Massachusetts, his road to success is enhanced by his winning Ohio. In fact, they know the way they've strategized this for months and months now is they focused on certain key states. To the exclusion of other states. I mean,
because they're just given it to one.
So Romney has never campaigned in New York State. It's given he's not going to win New York. It's given that he's not going to win Massachusetts.
What about
so
it?
You think going to concentrate on Ohio and Pennsylvania?
I was thinking this because we had an election in Italy a while ago, and the date that jumped in our face was a lot of people didn't go to vote.
Right.
Here we can have the same problem.
Very much. The last election, actually, the last election was better, but in some elections, it's only been 42% of the populace has voted.
42% of people decided for 200 million people.
Yeah. Now that wasn't the case in 2008. 2008, more people voted. Certainly, more younger people voted. And so the question becomes, you know, this is very much a divided country. So the question becomes, which candidate is more successful at mobilizing his base? So, for instance, President Obama will do well if he can get more younger people to come, more immigrants to come, more women to come. He's stronger in those areas. So if he can motivate those populations, those key segments of the population, he'll do well. If he's unable to, then he'll probably won't win. That's the ongoing.
I just want you alone. Thank you for that's very illuminating. Thank you so much.
Thank you.